few years ago I came across some old tungsten lamps that I had no idea what they were, anything about them. I barely knew anything about lighting at the time, and used them on a few shoots, and then one of the bulbs just kind of gave out, or the fixtures. I didn't know what was going on at the time, and thought that these fixtures were a lot more expensive than they were, and also thought that I didn't have any replacement bulbs. Well, today I realize I do have some replacement bulbs for them, so we're going to be replacing the bulb on one of these tungstens, and I'm going to walk you through it as I'm walking myself through it, because I have actually never replaced a tungsten bulb on. These are called redheads. They are 650 watt tungsten open faces, and I'm excited to figure this out. And worst comes to worst, these bulbs are only like 15 or 20 bucks each. I have 3 of them, 3 new bulbs, so hopefully we don't burn through all 3. Hopefully we can get it on the first try, but I do have 3 as a backup. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so here you can see we have our actual tungsten fixture, our heat guard, our hot hand gloves that we'll be using to handle the bulbs. We have our spare bulbs in here, as well as 1 right here. So a total of 3. We have 2 in the box, 1 right here, and some alcohol pads to wipe the bulbs down. And to my knowledge, that's all that we need. I do have some extra tools on standby, but this should be what we need. So let's go ahead and get started here. Okay. So I'll go ahead and take a look here. You can see, and I can zoom in here. Right here, this bulb inside is just awful. Looks terrible. It is blown and just does not look good. It's not in good shape, and the fixture itself will not turn on. So we're assuming that it is the bulb, and I could be wrong here. I could be completely wrong. It could not be the bulb. So we'll see at the end of this what that looks like, but let's go ahead and start here. So I'm just going to put on my gloves for the start here, because anytime that I'm wanting to reach into the actual fixture, I want to make sure that I have gloves on, because I don't want to be leaving oil in the actual fixture itself, because as soon as the fixture turns on, these bulbs get very hot, and that oil can cause a lot of problems and potentially cause some very serious problems to not only safety-wise, but also to the fixture itself. So I'm going to reach in here, see if it just comes out. It should pop out fairly easily. Let's see. Might have to wiggle it around. I don't believe there's a quick release for these specifically. I'm looking around just to make sure that there's not. And you know, it may be easier to take this barn door mount off. Give me a little bit more room here. So I'm just going to go ahead and twist the knobs on this. And it should just pop out here. That gives me a little bit more visibility here, as you can see. I'm trying to watch my eyes here, just in the off chance that this bulb shatters. Don't want any glass in my eyes. And I'm not wearing eye protection, which is probably not wise, but here we are. There we are. All right. So you can see the bulb is very blown, just nasty looking bulb as compared to its counterpart, which keep in mind, it's still in the bag, but looks much cleaner, much nicer, and newer. So we have that finally out. Thank goodness. Alright, so I'm going to take one glove off to open this bag, hopefully. There is our bulb. So I'm going to try and get this glove back on without touching the bulb. I don't want to touch the bulb. Here we are. Let's see if we can pop this in here. It is the same size as the previous bulb and should be a 650 watt bulb, which is quite large. There we are. And that should be in. Just gonna try and get all that out. Wonderful. Now, hopefully this is looking good, and it will work. But before I want to try that out, I do want to first off wipe the bulb down with some alcohol pads. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So you can see I have a 200 pack, just got from Target. These, to my knowledge, are the correct pads to use. Just 70% isopropyl alcohol. Not 100% certain on that, so don't quote me on it. Don't use me as a guide, but I am fairly certain for this use that this is what is correct from electricians that I have talked to in the past. This is the correct pad to use for these bulbs. All right. That is one. And I'm going to go ahead and just do a second one, just as a precaution. To my knowledge, you technically only need one, but I'm going to just be super diligent here. And get the back, as well as the sides here. And we're gonna get one more just for this last little bit. I have not cleaned any of this fixture since getting it a few years ago, so it's always good to just make sure I'm getting anything bad off before we try that. Okay, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and pack up these alcohol wipes and I'm gonna go ahead and put this barn door mount back on. All right, let's go ahead and get this on a stand and put the heat guard in front of it, and let's try this thing out. Let's see if it actually works. All right, so we have it here. It's all set. You don't see, but there is the heat shield that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. I just kind of have it resting up against the open face of the fixture here just so that in case anything were to blow or happen, that it kind of gets contained a little bit. It doesn't fit there entirely, and it's not really meant to be there in the way that it is, but for now it is the best safety that we have. So ideally, with this flip of this switch, this fixture turns on, and I've done my job correctly. And if not, then back to the drawing board. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. And it does. We have turned it on. I'm going to go ahead and let it sit for a minute just to make sure that it's all good. It's in working condition. And it's actually going to stay that way, but looking pretty darn good. So that's exciting. We fixed a 650 watt redhead open face tungsten lamp. So very excited about that. Gonna let it run for a minute, and then we'll go from there. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. I will see you in the next video.